Planting seeds of enlightenment without judgment. You know, Robert Louis Stevenson once wrote, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." Now, when I read this quote, I shivered all the way to my toes with those knowledge bumps you get when inspiration hits you and you know you need to follow that line of thinking. So I asked myself, what seeds am I planting with those that I help as a consciousness and divinity coach, with my family, friends, and those people that I randomly pass on the street and something about them crosses my mind. And then I wondered if anybody else has ever stopped to ask themselves that question. And if so, what was their response? And if not, well, why not? As practitioners, healers, and consciousness leaders who are aware of humanity's awakening and enlightenment journey, as well as Gaia's ascension and the dissolution of the 3D matrix and mind machinery, I feel it's our responsibility to plant seeds for the future we wish to see created. More importantly, it's essential that we are planting seeds of potentiality without assigning an agenda as to how that future grows. We need to have faith that each organism, as it were, will grow and develop as it is supposed to, in a future where our minds are more aware of humanity's true purpose and potential. You know, we are beings that are capable of great internal and external transformation, manifestation, and transmutation of the reality we perceive ourselves to be bound by. So as we grow in our mastery of these skills, we are able to share our experiential wisdom with others should we choose. However, in the sharing of this, we must acknowledge that somebody else's acceptance is ultimately their decision. So if we develop the following: a deep understanding of self and our own filters, a high level of discernment, and the acceptance that we will be required to use it, and trust in our craft and skills as practitioners, healers, thought leaders, then accepting that another may or may not utilize the knowledge and insight we have shared should be a relatively simple and uncomplicated matter. Any other experience that we have outside of this acceptance would reflect a sense of entitlement and judgment that we are the expert and they are not, when in fact both parties are exactly who and what they need to be in that exact moment in time, which translates to every individual having their own expertise in knowing who they are, despite any perceived issues or problems that they may be experiencing as part of their reality. So those of us who claim to understand the ins and outs and ways of ascension and awakening, if we're going to put forward particular points of view, then we must be prepared to be challenged on them, and in response to be positively assisting in the raising and elevation of human consciousness and vibrational frequency, then we must by default be compassionate, loving, and kind. You know, I picture the tiny acorn seed that grows into this mighty oak tree. Well, that acorn seed has every detail about itself implanted within it, and it will grow or perish as it's supposed to. And people are the same. We have within us all that we need to grow and develop to our full potential. And as beings that have also been gifted with free will, well, we must understand what that means and how we are able to have our lives reflect the best of that gift. As practitioners, it is our sacred duty to listen deeply to those that come to us and not attach ourselves to the outcome of how that person does or does not utilize our guidance.